to AM net will begin in approximately 5 minutes. KC9UDX net control here. Good evening. This is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 AM net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kcs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now. Well, I can hear somebody out there, but not well enough to make out the call sign. Could you please try again? Oh, I'm not sure, but I'd like to say I hear N9FSE. I hope I'm correct about that. You are way, way down in the weeds here. You're giving me like a 2 out of 10 on my receive meter, which is a pretty good signal, but I still can't quite make out what you're saying there. So if there's anything you can do to make maybe even talk louder or something, please try that. Go ahead.
Speaking up on your thing, we're using a beam today. Copy over.
Much, much better. I can hear you very well now.
Okay, yeah, we're using a friend's radio, N9EAW's radio, and his antennas out here at Mary Hall. And we keep the antenna and the gain lighting on this. There's been a lot of carriers south of Brookfield here at Old Mary Hall Park.
All right. Well, your audio seems to go up and down a little bit. Maybe that's atmospheric conditions, but I think we'll do well here. So I'll put you down on the list. N9FSE, welcome to the net. And do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please.
Good. November 9, Echo Alpha 1917. Station up here, fine. South of Mary Hall, Brookfield, 594.
All right, that time I got N9EAW. And welcome to the net. Do we have any more check-ins? Hearing none so far. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought I heard N9FSE along with N9EAW. Maybe my ears are deceiving me. And also, first of all here, I got a message from Dave, whose call sign is escaping me at the moment. He says his antenna is almost back in operation and listening for a few minutes as he needs to get back to working on feed lines. So, I don't know why, but my brain is not working here. I'm drawing a complete blank on Dave's call sign, who I should know very well here. Otherwise, let's go back here. Was I hearing Steve N9FSE out there, KC9UDX?
KC9UDX. This is, of course, N9FSE. We're happy to return to the set after a long absence. We always remember the net, love the net, and love to do more with it. Happy to keep your lights on when you're out here, Matt. It's always a delight to play AM whenever possible. And this crew going here, I hear stories of guys in Northern Illinois and Waller County and all doing this stuff. Try to tell them about this. Oh, Tommy grabbed the antenna. He's going to try to manually point it down edge here. Give you a little extra height and a little less reaction to the mic stand we're using as a boom right now. So, don't have my usual antenna set up. Don't have my usual radio either. We're using Tommy's stuff, N9EAW up here at Mary Hall, and Yaesu FC991 Alpha, and monitoring with my little VX6 on AM. Angel Music Alpha microphone and all that kind of good stuff. I'll be hanging it back up to listen to your next one, and I'll probably hold the beam up like Tommy's doing, and let the blood run out of my arm and see how well we do for a while here. Hopefully you're copying really well, and you're still out here with the 2 a.m. net. N9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. And hopefully you're copying me okay. I am copying you very well, although once in a while your audio drops down, and I think you doing what I do is just talk a little bit too quiet once in a while. So do me a favor next time and just make sure you're yelling all the time, kind of like I think I am right now. I hope I'm not yelling too loud here. But welcome back, Steve. It's great to have you back. And next we have N9EAW. And this call sign seems familiar to me, and unfortunately I'm not putting a name with the call sign, so please tell me your first name, and hopefully that jogs my memory if need be. If not, just maybe I haven't talked to you before, or just chalk it up to my being awake at the wrong times of day and stuff. So N9EAW from KC9UDX.
Alright, well, hey, 2 a.m. man is strong tonight, but you me in the face, man. Need it a little higher now. It's a little Armstrong power holding it up a few feet higher. It went from a 4 to a 6. Let me know what you're running there. This is the SC991A with a narrow antenna, 3-element, portable, about 7 feet high, maybe 6 or 7 feet off the ground. And running about 12 watts carrier, reaching right on 40 to 60 watts. I've got the mic being turned up a little bit louder. It's almost a third of the way up now. You tell me if it's good enough. If it isn't, I can give you a little more mic. Tonight is absolutely gorgeous, and it's got a little bit drier and cool out here. Today was kind of a jungle outside if you had to go into it. We didn't have to. We sat in the house all day long in the shade and enjoyed it. Got some work done and got some play done. Back to you, KC9UDX. This is Tom, Tango Ocean Mike, November 9er, Echo Alpha Whiskey. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tom. And the audio sounds much better now. There's a lot of background noise, as you can probably imagine. So it's the static is competing with your voice, but for the most part I can understand everything you're saying. And what else was I going to say here? I apologize. My brain is kind of slow today apparently. Trying to listen and pick out words is apparently straining my brain, and I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. I probably should be at work right now, but I was able to get out of working this first 4 hours of my shift. My boss was supposed to make me work, and for some reason did not. Not sure if he was trying to be nice to me, but but hopefully that's the case. Either way, it worked out good, so I don't have to go to work for another hour here. And that makes the net possible. We're at the bottom of the list. Oh, by the way, I should also mention we do have Bratwurst on YouTube. And Dave WB9BWP, whose call sign I for some reason could not recall earlier. Now it comes to me right away. But Dave and Bratwurst are both listening and I guess you'd say watching on YouTube. There's not much action to see here, of course, unless I put my hand in front of the camera or something. And there must be quite a delay here because I don't even. Oh, there we go. Significant delay, but not much to see for the video. But at least we get audio, and hopefully sounds like it's better than last month. We're at the bottom of the list. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. Hearing none. I don't have too much I could add to the conversation here, unless you guys were paying attention in previous months. One thing I've been discussing is the workbench that I'm making to hopefully clean up my electronics workbench area here, and also obviously give myself a little bit more room in the ham shack. Well, I suppose it's not obvious if you can't see it. And I'd turn the camera around here, but I'd probably not get it back to where it needs to be. My electronics area is significantly encroaching on my ham shack, and that's due to my needing to build a new bench. So work is continuing. I was hoping to be done by January 1st of this year, and at the rate things are going here, I'll be putting it together January 1st of next year. But the bench top is almost done, and I've begun working on the base. So I put a new motor in my wife's car, and I had to order some parts to complete the job. Parts are on the way, but it does run and drive the way it is. And beyond that, not sure what else I can add here. So we'll go back to the top of the list. N9FSE, Steve from KC9UDX. It's your turn.
Tommy peeking your signal out, so hopefully we're doing really good, especially for the YouTube there. Good to hear from Steve Bratwurst out there and all the SWLs. Oh, goodness. But it's really good to be back here, and no, I haven't been following along. I do have to catch up with the YouTube videos and start catching up on things. And changing the engine sounds like a major workout, but you're technically inclined enough, mechanical enough to work through that pretty well, I'm sure. So that's good. My truck, I've been doing some work myself and taking it in a little bit, so getting ready for winter almost. But I can still do some pump brakes and get the tires going, and we'll be all good for winter. A lot of front end stuff done, U-joints and all that stuff. So it's kind of rough coming up to that. So it's just good because I still got to throw the camper around for a few more times before winter and all that. A few things coming up to this weekend. We got the Mars breakfast is coming up. I don't know where the location is. It's on the DVR and getting around on socials, but usual 9 o'clock monthly breakfast for Mars returns. So that's good to see that coming back. And then later on Saturday, there's the West Side Radio Club having their picnic, which usually sometimes we get Bill in here. And he's principal that down at Bill's farm down there, and maybe I'll even make it. Maybe I'll make it to both. We'll see. I was supposed to be up early for a meeting, but they moved that off a week. So we got lots going on Saturday after this Saturday. So plenty going on, getting ready for TC, my usual business, and then of course also in a couple, 3 weeks, I think. Oh, 2 weeks. I check my calendar for all that, but there's the banquet for MRAC Mars, and they're being honored for being 100 years affiliate of the ARRL, which is the longest of any club in the country. So that's coming up 3 weeks. And they got the same weekend as Superfest and Radio Expo, so big ham weekend coming up. So that's all of my news. I'll let return to Tommy's Army to set the heat down for a bit. Warm up the channel. Maybe you want to see if there's anybody else waiting to get on in here. On AM, this is N9FSE.
All right, thank you, Steve. I'll try and do a little bit of talking here and give you guys a rest holding up the antenna there. I'm not exactly sure what you've got going on there, but whatever it is, it's working working well, and it's probably a lot of work. I've got an email here from Dave Shank, KA9WXN. Says that the next Mars breakfast will be held this Saturday, September 14th at the Genesis restaurant located at 3740 South 108th Street, Milwaukee. And the breakfast starts at 9 a.m., but Dave would like to know, now my phone shut off here so I can't read anymore. Dave says, please let me know if you are planning to attend so we can have a head count. And fine business on the 100-year celebration. I hope I can do that. I see there's only 1 week left to sign up for the banquet. I don't have my calendar handy right now, but I guess it's crunch time, and I've got to get going and figure out if I can do that. I sure would like to attend that. And I guess for some reason I was not aware that Superfest would be going on at the same time. I think somebody probably Dave, WB9BWP, did mention this earlier in the year, and I forgot about it. I guess maybe because I expect Superfest to be earlier in the year, but that's obviously not the case anymore. And the West Side Club having a picnic. I wish I had more time. It seems like in years past I could attend things like this, and I just plain can't anymore. I do have to get Bill a radio here. I've got a 2-meter AM rig sitting here waiting to give to him. This has been going on for years here, and I have not been able to get it to him yet. So I was just thinking about this earlier today. Maybe I need to package it up and send it off in the mail. I kind of hate to do that, but I'll have to get it to him one of these days. And Tom, you mentioned you have an FT991A, and asked what I'm running. I've got a Gonset Communicator 4. You said you've got 12 watts of carrier. I have 7. So I also, my antenna is 30 feet from the ground to the base of the antenna. It's a Hustler, oh boy, 7 decibels of gain, I can tell you that. I can't remember the model number anymore. My total system gain here from radio to antenna is just over 6 decibels. 6.376 I've got written down here. Vertically polarized, of course, and omnidirectional. Someday I will have a beam. Someday, if I ever get time and money. You know, at this point I just plain don't have either, so hopefully someday I get one, and then maybe the other one will happen too. Bratwurst says that all he's been doing is school and sighting in his Nerf guns, but earlier here in the comments on YouTube, he mentioned that he passed his written driving test. I believe it's a written test, and now he's working on the behind the wheel stuff and hopes to get his license soon. And as soon as he's got that license, we're going to be doing whatever we can here to get him licensed for amateur radio. And then we can get him here on the net one way or the other. We'll figure out a way to do it. If not on the air, we'll figure out something over the internet. There's got to be a simple way to do that these days. We have many ways to get things done. And with that, I'll take a break here in the middle of the list to see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. Hearing none. I thought we'd hear from Frank, W9JCC. He's here almost every month for a couple of years now. So I'll say hopefully that he's got something better to do or just forgot. Otherwise, we've got 3 of us here anyway. That's better than we've been doing for a couple of months. When Dave gets his antennas back working, we'll have him back here too. And with that, I'll go to Tom, N9EAW from KC9UDX. I'm sorry, I did not quite make that out. Audio was very quiet. Could you please try again?
Yeah, Matt, why don't you stand by for more check-ins, will you? And I'll wait here until you're done, if you have anyone else.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Tom. And I'll check one more time. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. Hearing none, we'll go back to the top of the list. Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Oh, I think it's my turn, Matt. N9EAW. Can I go?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to skip you. Maybe I missed something here, but go ahead, Tom, KC9UDX.
I just wanted to make sure that you
case Frank or anybody else wanted to cut in here, we could definitely get it. Or someone else would come in, maybe Frank or somebody. Here I'm on the receiver. Well, fine on the listening conditions, though. Sounds really great. I don't know what your microphone is. You want to let me know? Are you running a D104 or are you doing something different? Very curious about that. And my shack is in my car right here. The back seat of my car. This is pretty much all I got. I do have another HF rig coming. Called an Omni 7. An American piece of iron that I hope will be really great. Put it in the shack right along with this one. I think Frank might be coming by, so I'm going to relinquish back to you, Matt, and we'll take a pause and see if we can get some other stations in the 2 a.m. net. C9UDX and the N9EAW.
All right, thank you, Tom. My microphone is a D104 with a UG8 stand. This one, for some reason, does not have the manual switch on the bottom, and we were just talking last month about how I want to add that. It would be very handy. There's times when I want to lock the transmitter and transmit, not just this one. I use this microphone for every radio I've got here, and I've got a couple of CW keys hooked up to different rigs here, and I've actually put weights on them to lock the transmitter on when I need to. In fact, I've got a wiring issue with my Drake HF rig here, the TR3. Well, I wouldn't say it's really an issue, but the way Drake did things, if you have a key plugged in, you have to have that key closed all the time in order to be able to transmit in sideband, and I really don't have a way to plug in or unplug that key when I want to, so that key is permanently weighted down here unless I plan to use it. I just plain don't have time for that. I guess I'll mention here what else I have in the shack. I've got a Gonset Communicator 3 for 6 meters, and this is something we've kind of talked about on and off over the years of doing the 2 a.m. net here, is maybe simulcasting on 6 meters. And here again, that's one of those things I just don't have time to play with, but someday we'll probably do it. I've also got the Drake TR3. That's my main HF rig. And I've got a Hunter Bandit 2000C amp. Puts out over 1,000 watts. I don't use that a whole lot. I've got a KW 2000A transceiver. That is a KW is a brand out of England, KW Electronics. I know when I talk about this thing that a lot of people confuse it for a Kenwood, and it is not a Kenwood, it's a KW. It's kind of an obscure rig, and certainly not very common on this side of the pond. But it's a great fun to use. This is one of these projects that I've been waiting to get my bench done so I can work on. The power supply for that radio, unfortunately, I don't use it enough to keep the capacitors going, so it's to the point where I need to replace them. They've dried up to the point where they do not recover anymore. So that rig is off the air. It's been several years now until I get my bench done. I've made it a point here not to do any electronics projects until I get that bench done. So that's what that's waiting for, unfortunately. And the stuff is piling up here. I've got a whole list of other stuff that needs to go on the bench. I've got a couple of FM rigs for 220 and 2 meters. I think they both need batteries. One for 70 centimeters too. Certainly that one and the 220 rig need batteries. They don't function correctly without them, and hopefully they're not leaking and doing damage. I've also got a HTX 10 10 meter transceiver here, which unfortunately I just haven't used in a long time. I used to have that permanently mounted in my Jeep, and that's where I would use it. And I bought a different 10 meter rig for the Jeep, and this one's been sitting here doing nothing ever since. I've got half a mind to put it back in the Jeep because I don't like the one that I've got in there. And anyway, we're at the bottom of the list again. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please.
W9JCC.
All right, there's Frank. Welcome to the net, Frank. I'll go ahead and give you a turn, but hold on a minute. I'll check if we have any more check-ins first. Anybody else wants to check in? Come now, please.
Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Zulu Oscar.
All right, got KB9RZO. I'm glad I paused there to check. Now I wrote these down in the wrong order. W9JCC Frank and KB9RZO, who unfortunately I don't, I'm drawing a blank on your name here if I do know it. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, hearing none, I'll first go to Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thank you, Matt. KC9UDX and the 2 a.m. net. This is W9JCC. And good evening to Scott. And I think I didn't hear Steve yet, but I think he might be in there. Yeah, I was dozing off upstairs, and I had everything grounded down here. I wasn't planning on getting on the air, and I completely forgot about the net. So, shame on me. Yeah, I heard you talking about the bench there, Matt, and I'm assuming that's that pallet bench that you're putting together. And so I'll turn it back to net control, and we'll see what else is in here. Go ahead, Matt. W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. This is our busiest month in months. We have N9FSE Steve, N9EAW Tom, W9JCC Frank, of course, and KB9RZO Scott, and myself, KC9UDX Matt. So that makes 5 of us. That's the most activity we've had in quite a while here. And that is the bench that I was discussing was the one that we had been discussing in previous months here. Not much more progress has been made, but it is progressing slowly. I've started working on the base that will hold up the bench top, and well, I've actually made quite a bit of progress on that, but there's a very long way to go. So I'm going to have to buy more materials. I've run out of junk wood to build this thing out of, so I'm going to have to actually go and buy some new wood. And I guess I haven't been taking pictures and making videos like I was doing. I was planning to video document my building of that thing from beginning to end, and I've not been doing that lately. So I guess I should probably go out there and at least take some pictures. And with that, we'll go to KB9RZO, Scott from KC9UDX.
Good evening. I just thought I'd chime in here. I don't recollect if I've ever had this radio on AM. I probably have, but anyways, I'm hoping it sounds anywhere near as good as Frank does, because he's just blasting me here. But I got a pretty good pipeline to Frank, so. And I'm kind of guessing maybe we're on the same radio, so maybe when it comes back around, Frank, you can let me know. But yeah, this is my 2000, and it's a lot of fun. But this might be my first AM QSO, so I'll turn it back to net control. KB9Rs at all.
All right, thank you, Scott. Welcome to the net and welcome to AM. It is a lot of fun. We've been doing this for I don't even know how many years now, at least 5, I think, and it's great fun. We only manage to do this once a month only because of my time constraints. But we have good fun every month nonetheless. Your signal is excellent and your audio is clear, but your audio is very low, and this seems to be a common thing. I think most of these modern transceivers, for some reason, you have to turn the mic gain way up to get the audio where it needs to be. Almost everybody who checks into this net with a newer rig has to significantly increase their mic gain. So when it comes back to Frank, I guess he can say what he's got for a mic gain setting, and otherwise I would say crank it way up. And with that, we are at the bottom of the list again. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. All right, hearing none, we'll go back to the top. And Steve, N9FSE, it's your turn again from KC9UDX.
Got check-in. Sounded like Dave.
Steve, I completely missed that. Try again, please.
Yeah, an additional check-in. It might have been somebody on FM, and it might be Dave, DWP maybe. Try him again. Give another call for check-in. N9FSE.
All right, thank you, Steve. Is there somebody else trying to check in? Come now.
Choice Alpha Bravo 9 Delta Whiskey, Dale.
Aha! AB9DW, Dale, welcome to the net. Very, very nice signal and very nice audio. I think this is easily the best I've ever heard you. Do we have any more check-ins? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. Dale, I'll send it to you first. AB9DW from KC9UDX.
All right there, Matt. This is AB9DW, and I cannot hear you over the air, Matt, but I'm listening to you on the live broadcast on YouTube. So I'm not quite prepared with a whole lot to talk about, but I heard Frank. Actually, I heard Steve call Frank, and Frank was reminded that today is 2 a.m. net. So when he came downstairs, that's when I came downstairs, and I set up my little rig here, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I know I can't hear you over the air, but that's pretty typical. But we make up for it by listening on YouTube. Back to you, Matt, AB9DW.
All right, thank you, Dale. And this is exactly why we do the YouTube thing, and it's working well. And I'll have to say again, your audio here is utterly amazing. I'm not sure what you've done, but you've never been this loud, this loud here before, not by a long shot. So. Whatever you've done is working very well, and of course the YouTube thing is working in the other direction. And I'm glad you could make it. I was just saying earlier how someday, you know, I've been probably saying this for years now, someday I'll have a beam so I can switch back and forth between the beam and the omnidirectional antenna, and that will hopefully clear up a lot of this my not being heard in different directions thing. You know, the other ace I've got up the sleeve here is the amplifier that I used to always use, and I don't use that now because it's not so easy for me to detune the transmitter here to get the level low enough to run into that amp. That's another one of those things I'd like to do someday. You know, I want to insert an attenuator in that line so that I can just switch the amplifier on and off when I need to. That way I don't have to detune the amplifier in the transmitter. But like I say, someday. We'll get to that someday. Anyway, we're at the bottom of the list again. Let's just, well, we're not really at the bottom of the list. I'm at the bottom of my list, but we'll go back to Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks a lot. Did my part by getting out on the left side. You made a little noise there for Frank, and you picked up 2 more, so that's pretty cool. And then I made a call out on 38 and didn't get anyone else, so, well, that's how that goes. We got aircraft coming around. We got looks like flight going back from one of the hospitals back out toward Waukesha. Maybe we'll get a little chopper scatter coming up on the signal here shortly. But see what that sounds like with the mixmaster going around there. So kind of neat stuff. And I'm just thrilled to hear the whole crew out here, and I can't wait to check on how Tommy's radio here sounds. He's got things geeked up nice. So I can't wait to review the YouTube videos, which I should have been doing them for a long time now, but haven't. Also getting used to looking at the screens on this radio here, so it's kind of neat what you can see here. And then Tommy, in the meantime, during the middle of everything, piped in instead of a little speaker in the radio, we're piped into the car stereo here, and so we can hear everybody on some really nice speakers. The right way to hear AM with the best speakers in the house. So, and biggest. So I'm really happy with how everything is turning out here. Maybe catch up on some of your projects, Matt. Me, I just got my usual projects and try to keep some stuff together. And maybe next time I get out of here with little Tommy, we'll have his radio and a couple of push-up mats and easy ups, which I usually have with me, but not this time. But at least we got a little beam pointed toward you and Waukesha there, and just outstanding signals from Frank and Scott, and Dale's huge here. We're just loving his signal up here at Marymount Park in Brookfield. So we're going to turn it back to net. I'll say this is N9FSE. 145, 700 megacycles over.
All right, thank you, Steve. And I don't know how well my wonderful low-resolution digital camera picked it up here, but my analog receive meter demonstrated very well what happens when an airplane flies over. It would have made a good demonstration video here. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think the camera picks it up very well. That's one of those things that it shows up better on an analog meter, of course, than a digital one. And you're right, absolutely right about the using the biggest speaker in the house. I've got a 12-inch speaker here, which is currently my largest speaker. I don't have a 15-inch anymore, but I've got the 12-inch one, and I did used to always use that for this rig. But when I switched to doing the YouTube thing, I changed back to using the speaker built into the radio, because it works a little bit better with my microphone setup here. The mic going to the the microphone goes to the mixing console. The mixing console audio goes to the video toaster, and then into the PC and out to YouTube. So I've got a nice astatic studio mic on a stand here, pointed at the radio and also kind of pointed at me. So that's how the YouTube audio works. And speaking of which, I made some adjustments this month. I guess from what Bratwurst was reporting, the audio should be better than it was last month. It was terrible. So that hopefully that's working better. Next we have N9EAW. Tom, it's your turn again from KC9UDX.
All right, Matt. Hey, thanks you guys for having me. I've kind of been an infrequent operator. I've been getting on the air a little bit more since I picked this radio up. Got to say, I like the 991A a lot. I've had a lot of radios, and 3 to 4 or 5 major manufacturers. Not a 10-tech yet, but I got one of those coming this week too, so maybe we'll mess with that like that too. Omni-7s will be showing up on Friday. Excuse the voice, I'm a little hoarse today, but I'm sure I'll get through it. You should be able to copy me all right. For those not aware, this is the 991A. We're running about 12 watts of carrier, probably peaking in the 40s somewhere, I'm guessing. Maybe not quite that much. The power meter on this thing I'm looking at internally is not very accurate, I can tell you that. There's pushing pretty good mic gain on here, about a 30. I could probably give it a little more if I need it. Whatever opinions you guys have would be great. First time this radio's been on AM. First time I've been on AM in quite a long time, probably years. So I'm glad to be here. And see if I can think of much else. Oh, we're running portable power also. I've got a Bioenno 12 amp battery back here that might make it through the end of the net, so I don't want to pump too much more power into it. I want to be able to hear all the fine AM through my car stereo speakers. A bunch of aftermarket stuff was installed in this thing by the previous owner, and he really wanted it to sound good, and he succeeded. Sounds fantastic. And this radio is a lot to rave about too. This is for what they put into this box. I'm very impressed. I sold a 7300 to buy this, and I'm pretty glad I did that. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Matt so that he can cycle around the table a bit more. KC9UDX, go ahead, Matt, from Tom, up on Marino, and 9EAW, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Tom. We are here every month, and we're very glad to have you whenever you can make it. So glad you could make it this month. Next we have Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt. And good evening to everybody. I didn't hear Tom before, so I got him this time. Signal report-wise, Matt, UDX hit 35 over 9 on my receiver. Steve, N9FSC is an S5, and Tom is an S5. Scott's about an S8, and Dale is about an S2. I'm copying everybody okay over the air, so I am not listening to the web broadcast. And yeah, Matt, you might give, I don't know, Scott hasn't been on here before, you might give him the link to the YouTube there if he doesn't already, hasn't already found it. And by the way, Scott Bratwurst happens to be a young fella, I think he's probably 14 or 15 years old, that monitors on the web and sometimes gives us some feedback there on YouTube. And I am using the TS2000, running 25 watts. And I think Dale is running one too, if I'm not mistaken. You might let us know there, Dale, and I think you're also, Scott. I thought your audio was okay there, Scott. It didn't sound, Matt, Scott, I think he's using Class B modulation there, and probably one of the few, if probably the only one that's doing that. And he does have nice, crisp audio. And I'm just using the stock can mic here that came with the 2000. I don't know where my audio setting is set. I'm afraid to go to the menu. I might screw something up and not be able to get back. So anyway, that's where I am on that. Yeah, I was upstairs, and when he was in the computer room, and I have a scanner going in there, so I can tell, or she can tell if somebody gets on our WRC repeater. And so I was half asleep watching a ball game. And she called out. She says, "Hey, somebody called you." And the reason I didn't hear you on the rig that's sitting right next to me up there is the antenna wasn't connected, and so it delays about a second before it receives anything. So it can receive without an antenna, but it can't transmit. So after I realized that, I put the antenna on, and the garage antenna, because everything was grounded, and then I was able to get on the 440 machine. And I'll have to remember to mark my calendar here for the next couple of months, because I forgot to do that this last month. So I guess that's enough for this transmission. I'll turn it back to net control, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And the YouTube link, the easiest way to find this video is just to search for channel KC9UDX. If you search for KC9UDX, my channel should be the first thing that pops up. I can't guarantee that the way Google works, but if I search, that's what I get. So hopefully you do too. And please do subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more YouTube is likely to let other people see this. So, plus, of course, if you subscribe and turn their bell thing on, then you'll get notifications when we're doing this. And I guess whatever else I happen to upload. So, with that, we'll go to Scott, KB9RZO from KC9UDX.
What the heck here? Where am I squealing to? I'm coming off my speaker. So is my audio a little bit better here? I kind of cranked it up and threw the processor on it. Did that help any?
I would say yes, it did help, but you probably have a lot more you can do. And the reason I say that, first of all, you sound quiet, but second of all, when I watch my receive meter, I can usually see the audio fluctuations when somebody is really modulating good.
Okay, well, I got the mic full tilt right now, so maybe this Kenwood just has a kind of a quiet AM. But anyways. And I did find the YouTube channel right away. I figured that's the fastest way to find it. And sure enough, it was right there. But it's kind of distracting listening to that and listening to the radio with the latency delay in there. But anyways, this was fun. And I'll say 7.3s, and maybe I'll try to make it in again next month. Everybody have it. I'm hearing everybody tonight. I can even hear Dale. He's kind of down in there, but he is definitely there. I can hear him 100%. Dale, I don't know if you can hear me at all, but that's what that is. So I'll say 7.3s. Everybody have a great evening. KB9RZO.
All right, thank you, Scott. And I'll say 7.3 to you. And very glad you could make it. And if you can show up next month too, it will be on the 8th of October. I will appreciate it. Of course, I'm not demanding you to be here. It always sounds like that when I say that, but anybody that can be here is always appreciated. Next we have Dale, AB9DW from KC9UDX.
All right there, Matt. Yeah, let's see. We're getting a little bit of feedback here, so I'm not sure if you're hearing me okay, but we'll give it a shot. And let's see. I am running a TS2000, so Frank is right on that. I'm not hearing a lot of people tonight for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why. But the only person I've really been able to hear is Frank. And Frank's signal is a little bit down for me tonight than where it normally is. So, that's just sort of the way it is, I guess. I have not had this TS2000 in for service since I bought it, so I don't know if the receive is working as well as it should or not. But one of these days I'll probably take it off my table here and send it in and have it tuned up and so on and so forth. But this TS2000 has been a real workhorse. It's really it's been my main radio for HF and 2 meters and 440. Well, since the year after I became a ham, so that was 2010 I became a ham. So I probably bought this in 2011, maybe 2012. And I've got a 991 here, but I rarely use it. I'm not sure why, but usually when I come down here, I turn the TS2000 on, and it works so well that I don't really have to go to the other radio. Let's see what else is going on. There was another question that, Scott, yeah, I heard you, I could not hear you over the air, but of course I was able to hear you through mass radio via YouTube. So yeah, like I said, I'm not hearing everybody tonight except for Frank. So there you go. And if I can, I will be here October 8th. I'm not sure about after that. I've got some surgery coming up, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get downstairs here to the shack after the surgery. I got a knee replacement procedure coming up on October 21st. So we'll see how that all goes. With any kind of luck, I'll still be able to make it down here for the November one. So there you go. All right, I'll send it back to Matt and Net Control, 89DW.
All right, thank you, Dale. And I wish you luck on your knee replacements. And two of my coworkers recently had knee replacements, and I hope yours goes as well as theirs did. It seems like that kind of stuff has gotten a lot better in recent years. So hopefully you have good success with that. That brings us to the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have anybody that wants to squeak in here at the very last minute. Anybody wants to check in, come now, please. All right, hearing no one. I have been hearing something here all through the net, and I did not mention it. I don't know if anybody else is hearing this. It sounds like I'm not sure how to describe it. It's like 120 hertz hum, but it's clearly not coming from within my radio because it's got an atmospheric sort of sound to it, and it fluctuates. So I'm not sure what that is. If it's something here local interfering, or if it's just atmospheric noise, I don't know, and I wonder if anybody else is hearing it. But I'm running short on time, unfortunately. So we'll go back to the top of the list and call this the 7-3 round. And first we'll go to Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
All right, Matt, and the whole net, it's awesome to hear the whole big crowd we've helped cheer up tonight. This is my usual trying to shake the bushes. And the website worked really good for our 2 a.m. stuff. I just posted also to Facebook there and see what else we can extract for this week and other weeks. So it's always a blast to be out here. I mean, this is the fun stuff. Enjoy it a lot. I got to thank little Tommy on IDAW here. I wouldn't be out here if it weren't for him coming out to the Mars MRAC picnic we had in August, and we were playing with all kinds of crazy bands, especially 220. Little 10 FM I had on a portable, and maybe 6 meters, but there was nobody to talk to on 6 or 10. I was the only one there, but at least we can find the crew out here for a little 2 a.m. fun. And always looking for more stuff. I got to still see what I can do to keep helping the promotion end here and keep this net alive and well. It's good to hear everybody. Irv and Jenna have been out of location, so they're remote, and stations are torn down, so it'll be a while before we hear back from Irv and Jenna out here, but hopefully we'll get them sometime also in the future. With that, it's been a blast to hear everybody. We're not going to stick around too long after. I don't think we're going to catch a little live music, and I still got to get home and sleep tonight, so good to catch everyone out here, and we'll look forward to catching up with you out on YouTube sooner or later on this and the other ones I've been missing. It's been too long since I've been out here last. But thanks to everybody, and everybody sounds just beautiful out here from Brookfield, Maryknoll Park, portable. This is N9FS using the station equipment of N9EAW 73.
All right, thank you, Steve, and I certainly do appreciate, of course I appreciate you being here, but I really appreciate you drumming up interest here. That is very helpful. Next we have N9EAW. Tom, it's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Yeah, 73. Well, the time has come. 73 is here. The Armstrong net is what we're doing in the parking lot here. I got a 3-element aero antenna. Something my big 12-watt carrier too. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know how good the signal will be, but Probably fortunate we're coming down to the 73 rounds to the wire because the bioano is probably getting pretty weak about it. But I want to thank you guys. Matt, thank you for having a net. And thanks to all the checking. It's good. My first time doing it. I'll try to make it next month. Maybe I'll have a better signal or maybe I'll have a different signal. Who knows what might happen. Beautiful night out here. We may try to work a satellite. Maybe there's one coming up here in about 5 minutes. Maybe I'll try that now. I've got the antenna and the radio sitting here. So, 73 to all. Good to hear everybody. Signals are really loud here. Everybody's anywhere from a 5 to a 9. There's a couple of guys. RZO might be a little over, 10 over. Frank might be 10, 15 over. But everybody's loud enough to easily be heard. Out here at Marion Old Park in Brookfield, where it's very quiet, no static, no 120 hertz on, no play anything out here except a couple of hams, and she probably leaves the park with the closing itself. KC9 UDX, 73, N9 EAW.
All right, thank you, Tom. And your setup there is certainly working very well. Every month conditions, you know, this is something we've noticed on AM that you notice more than you do on other modes. Conditions vary a lot, so there's no guarantee that any given month will be better or worse than any other time. So all we can do is try. Thank you for being here. And by the way, I don't have a S meter. You know, you'll see this if you ever watch the YouTube video. I've got a, well, I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but it's a 0 to 10 scale, and you are a 4. Frank is off the scale. Dale is a 3, and unfortunately I did not write down what Scott had. But next we'll go to Frank, W9JCC. Frank, it's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Okay, thanks, Nick. And yeah, I have the antenna down a little bit. Probably about 8 to 10 feet lower than I usually have it when I check into the net. But the bands have been so lousy, I've had the tower down to a moderate height here for the last couple of weeks. And I agree with Dale. The PS2000 is a good old rig for sure. It's not terribly old, but it does a lot of things. You can use it for just about anything. And I'm real happy with mine. It's not my main rig, but I get a lot of use out of it on the UHF, VHF, and if I want to get on 20 meters with some power real quick, I can use it to drive an amplifier that warms up real quick, so I don't have to turn on the alpha, so it comes in real handy. I don't hear the 120 hertz on here. It's pretty quiet at my location, and the Brewers are tied 3 to 3 in the top of the 9th, so they were leading up until about the 9th inning, so hopefully they can pull this one out. So we'll say 73 is to all. Good hearing everybody. I think it's the first time I've heard Tom, and good to hear him on here. And thanks for running the net there, Matt. And we'll try to remember for our next month on Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month. Back to net control at 73 style, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And I know Scott signed out earlier, but we'll check if he's still here for the 7-3 round. KB9RZO, if you're still there, go ahead and I'll make one final transmission here. Okay, not hearing Scott. Next we have Dale, AB9DW. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
All right there, Matt. AB9DW here. Hey, thanks for taking the net there, Matt. It's always a pleasure to get on the 2-meter AM net. Sometimes I have a little trouble remembering it, but I do have it on my calendar, so I'm going to have to do something to make it a little bit more obvious. So, yep, we'll try to be here next time around. And yeah. Oh, and I wanted to mention I was transmitting 25 watts. So that's the maximum that the TS2000 will do on AM. So there you go. I'll say 7-3, and everybody have a great week. Enjoy the weather while you can, because I guess it's going to get a little cool and maybe a little rainy again. So with that, we'll say have a good evening, and thanks again, Matt, 89DW.
All right, thank you, Dale. And your 25 watts is definitely making the trip. I'll be looking forward to cooler weather. I guess we'll deal with the rain as it comes, but it sure would be nice to have some cool, dry weather for a change. Anyway, we do meet the second Tuesday of every month. I know it's an odd date and time, but that's intentional because nobody else really does anything particular on the second Tuesday of the month. Plus, it happens to just work out well with my schedule. Hopefully, it does with everybody else. I will say this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag chew on this frequency after my transmission. We will meet again on the 8th of October. And I want to just say thank you to everybody that's been here tonight. Like I said earlier, I think this is the most activity we've had in quite some time. So I really do appreciate everybody taking time out to check into the 2 a.m. net. And until next month, 7-3, and good night. This is KC9UDX.
Thanks, man. We're going to vacate AM to 73 off. I'm on 2 a.m.